All right, guys, we're here for the second part of the first section of trig functions of acute angle. Started it yesterday. They put a whole lot of stuff in this one section, so we're going to finish it up today. All right, first of all, function values of 30, 60, 90 triangles and 45, 45. You should have had this in geometry as far as what the values are, but every single 45, 45 triangle, the sides come in these ratios. The two legs are the same length, and the hypotenuse is square root of 2 times bigger than the leg. And because of that, that means the sine and cosine and tangent are always going to be the same. Like if you see sine of 45, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. It'd be like 1 over square root of 2. And the cool thing about 45, 45 is cosine is the same thing. Cosine is adjacent, which is 1 over hypotenuse, which is square root of 2, also 1 over square root of 2. If you rationalize that, you would get square root of 2 over 2. I want you to go ahead and drill in your head. If you see 45 degrees, I want you to think square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. Except for tangent. If you do tangent of 45, you do opposite. Okay, arrows going everywhere, which is 1 over adjacent, opposite over adjacent, 1 over 1, that's just 1. Now, if you look at this 30, 60, 90 triangle, if you start off with the 30, okay, think about sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. It'd be 1 half. I'm looking 1 half. Cosine would be adjacent over hypotenuse, so it should be square root of 3 over 2. Look at the 60. Sine would be opposite over hypotenuse, square root of 3 over 2, which we just said for cosine 30, by the way. And cosine would be adjacent over hypotenuse, which would be 1 half, which is the same thing as sine of 30. Tangent, opposite over adjacent. But those triangles, these measures, like these three measures are the same anytime you see a 30 or a 60. And these measures over here are the same every time you see a 45, 45. So there's a table right here. You might want to stop this video. To be honest, you need to commit these numbers to memory or be able to draw some kind of triangle and find them. I'd rather you memorize these. I will tell you how I remember them tomorrow. Maybe that will help you. Maybe it won't. But at least I'll tell you. But there's a kind of a pattern to them. And there's a couple of little tricks you can do with your hand and that kind of thing to help you remember them. But you need to memorize those values for sure. Okay, so they're going to ask you then, what's the exact value of cosine 45? That was in the last slide. It was square root of 2 over 2. That's one I told you. If you see 45, you need to be thinking square root of 2 over 2. What is cosecant 60? I don't know cosecant 60, but I know sine 60. That was in the table we just looked at. Sine of 60 is square root of 3 over 2. Now, cosecant is reciprocal of sine. So I would just flip this and then rationalize. Don't leave the radical in the denominator. So you get 2 on 3 over 3. And then finally, tangent 60. Tangent 60 is opposite over adjacent, or tangent, as we'll learn this too, tangent's really sine over cosine. So you could do this right here. If you know sine 60, which we just found out was this, sine 60 is square root of 3 over 2. Cosine 60 is a half. What happens here, the 2's just cancel, and it leaves you square root of 3. I'm going to give you a really good way later to memorize the tangents also, but when it says exact value, you can't use your calculator because these decimals will not stop or come out even, so you have to use radicals. Okay, converting DMS. DMS means degree, minutes, seconds. So this first problem right here, that's called degree, minutes, second form or DMS form. You want to change it to a decimal. So all you do is this. You go 5 plus, this is 42 minutes, and it works just like an hour. 42 minutes out of 60 of another degree. And then 30 is like seconds, and you may not know this, but there are 3,600 seconds in a degree or in an hour, same thing. So I'm just going to take my calculator and punch that in. 5 plus parentheses 42 divided by 60 plus parentheses 30 divided by 3,600. You might do that with me. Hit enter and it's going to be a decimal. My decimal is 5.7083. My decimal didn't show up. There we go. So it'd be decimal, and that'd be degrees, by the way. So you know it's going to be 5 degrees and some decimal because we started out with 5 degrees and part of another degree. Minutes and seconds are part of a degree. Now, the second one here, you got to go the other way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 18 hundredths of a degree and change that to minutes and seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 18 hundredths and try to convert that to something over 60. So I'm just setting a proportion. when you work the proportion, I'm going to multiply the 18 times 60 and then divide that answer by the 100, the number that's left. Now we get 10.8. Now the 10 represents the minutes. So right now I have 72 degrees, 10 minutes. Now I need to get the seconds. So I'm going to take the decimal I still have, that 0.8, which is really 8 tenths, and try to change it to seconds. So I'm changing it to x over 60 also, doing exactly the same thing, multiplying this way, and then dividing by 10. 60 times 8 divided by 10 is 48. So that's 48 seconds. So there it is, 72 degrees, 10 minutes, 48 seconds. So you'll do a few of those today as well. Okay, they are going to let you use your calculators. Now when you use your calculators, because it says this, find approximate values, not exact. And it says round to 4 decimal places. So when they let you do this, and all they want is approximations, then you can just punch it in. One thing about your calculator, you need to hit your mode button and make sure you look at the third line down and make sure in degree mode, not radian mode. So I'm going to punch in tangent 29.7 and 4 decimal places gives me 0.5704. Make sure you round that last place. Now secant, there's not a secant button on the calculator, but here's what you have to do. Secant's reciprocal of cosine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch in cosine 48, or do 1 divided by cosine 48, probably quicker. Hit enter and I get this right here. I get 1.4945. That's a point right there. And that's all you do. So part of your homework tomorrow, you can just punch it straight in your calculator, but you got to be a little sneaky with the secants and the cosecants and do reciprocals. All right, now I'm going to go backwards. This time they're telling me that the sine of some degree is this. So really they're doing this like sine theta is 0.20113. And I will show you this on your calculator in class tomorrow, but if you look at if you have your calculator with you right now, if you look at the sine button, directly above the sine button, there's a little sign that looks like this, sine -1. That means inverse sine. Whenever you're looking for theta, like we are here, that's the button you hit. So I'm going to do second sine, hit 0.20113, hit enter, and I get this right here. I get 11 point, it says nearest 10, so it'll be 11.6 degrees. That's all you got to do there. All right, this is pretty important here. They're called cofunctions. Cofunctions are basically saying this. If two angles add up to be 90 and they're cofunctions of each other, they're the same. For example, sine 70, same thing as cosine 20 because they're cofunctions. Tangent 40, cotangent 50 equal each other because they're cofunctions. We saw this a few minutes ago. Cosine 60, sine 30 equal each other because they're cofunctions. These are cofunctions, sine and cosine, cosine and sine, tangent, cotangent, cotangent, tangent, secant, cosecant, cosecant, secant. Those are cotangents, meaning, again, if the angles are, how about this, complementary, then they're equal. If you were to punch in cosine of 25 degrees and also punch in sine of 65 degrees, you would get the exact same number because 25 and 65 add up to be 90. Let me show you what they're going to do with today. They're going to tell you this. They're going to say, okay, sine of 18 is 0.3090. Well, 18 plus 72 is 90. So what that means is cosine of 72 is 0.3090. They tell me also cosine of 18 is 0.9511, which means sine of 72 is 0.9511. They tell me that tangent of 18 is 0.3249, which means cotangent of 72 is 0.3249. Tangent 72, and to get the rest of them, we can just do reciprocal. We can just hit 1 for like tangent 72. I'm going to punch in 1 over 0.3249, and it would equal 3.078. Same thing for cosecant. I could do reciprocal of sine, 1 divided by 0.9511, and maybe 1.0514. And the last one, secant of 72, would be reciprocal of cosine 72. So 1 divided by 0.3090. Hit that one, 3.078. 2, 3, 6. And that's it. All right, that's quite a bit of stuff in one section for 2 days. I mean, it really took 2 days. So we'll work on it tomorrow like we always do. Hope it wasn't too very bad. Look forward to seeing you. See you, bye.